Hey, it's Mike here with AutoAnything.com. Today I'm going to help you make the right choice on which Smittybilt winch is right for you. Now, one of your first questions, and a great place to start, could be what winch weight rating is right for me and right for my vehicle? Now, it's pretty easy. When you pick out the weight rating of winch that you need, you take the gross vehicle weight rating of your vehicle and multiply it by 1.5. So for my own application, I went with a 10,000 pound winch, and that is a little bit over what's needed. Now, my truck, which is an access cab, 4-wheel drive, 6-cylinder, 2015 Toyota Tacoma, the dry vehicle weight comes in at approximately 4,140 pounds. Now that's in its stock form, with adding into account the bumpers, skids, sliders, wheels, tires. And then once you start factoring in like the camping gear and your own weight and a lot of different factors, that weight's gonna go up pretty considerably. So if I were to give a safe estimate of say 4,700 pounds, multiply it by 1.5, I'm just a little bit over 7,000 pounds. Now I could get away with an 8,000 pound winch or a 9.5, but I opted for the 10 because you never know what's gonna happen when you need a winch. This obviously isn't the first recovery tool that you're gonna go to. Now with that in mind, if you need to pull yourself out from a really sticky situation, or say you're pulling somebody else out that's larger than you, it's nice to have a little bit of extra pulling power so it's easier on the winch and prevents it from overheating. Another choice that you need to make when deciding which winch is right for you is a synthetic rope or a steel cable. Now the synthetic rope does come at a higher cost, but it does have some different advantages. Like for one, it is a 1/7 the weight of a steel cable. Now for my application, which is why I chose it, for Tacoma, that plays a pretty big role because the weight of the vehicle is much lower. If you have, for example, like a Ford F-350, something with a lot of weight to it, the nominal weight difference between the synthetic versus the steel isn't gonna play quite as big of a role. Now there are a few other advantages, like this rope isn't gonna kink, it's not going to rust, and you don't have to worry about the steel cable barbs running through your hand when you're pulling winch line in and out. The Smittybilt rope, it has minimal stretch, and it's also UV and abrasion resistant. Now the other option is of course steel, and by going with a steel cable, it gets you into a winch for a lower cost. And something that's cool is if you ever wanted to, you can take out the steel and replace it with a synthetic rope down the line. The steel cable, it is more durable than synthetic and is less prone to both fraying and abrading. A downside to steel though is it does hold more kinetic energy. So nobody ever wishes this to happen, but if that steel cable were to break, it has a lot more potential energy to move around. The synthetic holds a lot less, and this is one of the reasons why for all and most off-roading events, synthetic line is required. Now the winch that we have here in front of us is again from Smittybilt. This is the Gen 2 X20 model, specifically the competition because it's the synthetic line, and again the 10,000 pound rated winch. There's a few cool features with this that are pretty unique. Like for example, the winch remote, it can be used in a wired or a wireless option. And that's pretty nice because then you can be connected to your winch, or you can bring this and be inside the cab, windows up, for example, if it's raining and you get stuck in the mud. Nice to keep the interior at least a little bit more dry. Now we also have the solenoid, which can be turned on and off for the wireless mode, or of course you can have the controller plugged directly into it. And what's cool is Smittybilt gives you multiple mounting options for the solenoid. For example, it could be mounted centered over the winch or just offset to the side. And that gives you a bit more versatility with where you can mount it. Another nice thing that Smittybilt did just to make it easier is they color-coded and labeled for all the mounting. So on the back of the solenoid, of course, is all the wiring attached, but to the winch itself, again, color-coded and with letters to make it as easy as possible to hook everything up to the right spot. Another great feature about this winch in particular is that it comes with an IP68 waterproof rating. Now what that means is the winch itself is dust tight. And that is, of course, a huge advantage for you in terms of off-roading. You're obviously surrounded by a lot of dirt and dust. Another great feature is it can handle prolonged submersion underwater. So if you're going through water crossings or the unfortunate event of getting stuck in a water crossing, you don't have to worry about your winch. Now that you know a bit more about what to look for and how to choose the correct Smittybilt winch, check us out at AutoAnything.com to make your choice.